We're now going to look at a couple different examples of adding polynomials. Okay, so this is where we're taking two different polynomials, or two different polynomial expressions, and we're just adding them together. Okay, so our directions are to find the sum, okay, and then write the answer in standard form. Okay, as a reminder, standard form means that we want exponents or terms with exponents in decreasing order. Okay, and so this is pretty simple. Now there's a couple different formats that we talk about when we're actually adding polynomials. So the first one we're going to do like a horizontal format, and then the second one we'll do some like a vertical format. Okay, so the first one, I look at both my polynomials and I see that 2x squared plus x plus 5 has a degree of 2. Okay, then I look at x plus x squared plus 6 also has a degree of 2. Okay, now it looks like the first one's in standard form, the second one's not, but let's just do this. Okay, so I'm going to take 2x squared, okay, and I know that I'm going to combine like terms here. I see another positive x squared, right? That's a 1x squared. So I know that 2x squared plus 1x squared is 3x squared. So I'm just going to go ahead and write my 3x squared there. Okay, now I know that 1 down from my degree of 2 is my degree of 1. So I know here that I have a positive x, and I'm adding to that another positive x. So x plus x, or in other words, 1x plus 1x is a positive 2x. So I'm going to write plus 2x. Okay, and now finally, I did my degrees of 1s. Now I'm going to do my degrees of 0. Okay, or my constant terms. So I know I have a negative 5 here and a positive 6. So if I take negative 5 plus 6, I know that's a positive 1. Okay, and now I have found my sum, and my answer is in standard form. So remember, we started with the higher degrees, okay, and then we just sort of worked our way down to the constant terms. Okay, now let's go ahead and look at this next one. Okay, this next one I'm going to do slightly differently. We're going to look at it in a vertical format. Okay, so the first thing I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take each of these polynomials and I'm just going to write them in standard form. Okay, so I'm just going to write this as 5x cubed. Okay, got that. My next one is the x squared term. It's positive here, so plus 2x squared. Get rid of that. I then have the minus x part, so I'm going to write minus x. And then finally I have my plus 7. Okay, so I'm just going to put that in standard form. I think it might be kind of helpful. Okay, great. Now my next one, I'm going to write plus. Looks like my highest degree there is 2. So I'm just going to write my x squared first here. So I'm going to write 3x squared. Okay, I have a positive 7x, and it looks like a negative 4x. And so if I actually add those together right now, I would probably be my best course of action. I'm just going to call this a positive 3x. Okay, and then I'll just leave the rest alone. Okay, if I keep moving on here, I now have my negative x cubed first. We'll go first, so negative x cubed, and then I'm going to put my positive 4x squared. Okay, I could write this as 0x now if I want to. I'll write this maybe as plus 0x, which is okay, and then my minus 8. Okay, so notice I put the 0x in there. That's definitely something that's okay to do. All right, now I am going to write my polynomials in columns. So I'm going to call this my degree column. Okay, I'm going to call this my degree column. Okay, and it looks like I'm going to have a degree of 3, a degree of 2, a degree of 1, and a degree of 0. All right, and I'll even go like this. Okay, now what's really important about this part is how we're lining things up. Okay, so my degree of 3, it looks like I only have a couple terms with a degree of 3. Okay, but I'll maybe just kind of fill this in like this first. So my first polynomial here, I'm just going to call my red polynomial. Okay, so my degree of 3 term is just 5x cubed, so I'm going to write that here. Okay, My degree of 2 is going to be a positive 2x squared. So I'm just going to write a positive 2x squared. My degree of one term is a negative x. And my degree 0, or my constant, we'll just call a positive 7. Okay? So we kind of had place fillers for everything there. Okay? Now my next one I'm just going to call my blue one. Okay? So my blue polynomial, I just have a couple things in it. I have a positive 3x squared here. So I'm just going to, I can write the plus sign if I want. Positive 3x squared. I have a positive 3x. I'm just going to write zeros here. 0x to the 5th. These are my place fillers here. And I'll just write plus 0. Okay? And my final polynomial here, I'll call my green polynomial. Okay? So my degree of 3 here, I have now negative x to the 3rd. Okay, my degree of 2, I have positive 4x squared. All right, my x term, I got 0x, so it's just kind of my placeholder there. And then finally, I got this negative 8. All right, so now, the only thing I have to do is just add all these things up. Okay, so I'm going to add up all the columns here. Really simple. Okay, I know that I'm going to get, and when I add up my 3 column here, I got 5 plus 0 minus 1. That's going to be a 4x to the 3rd total. Okay, when I add up my degrees of 2, I got 2 plus 3 plus 4. So that's going to be a positive 9x squared. Okay, my next one here, I've got negative 1 plus 3 will give me a positive 2x. And then finally, my last one, I have a positive 7 minus 8. That'll give us a minus 1. Okay, so this, I have added this now vertically. Okay, my answer is in standard form, and we are good to go.